In Excel, you can also have Excel multiply and divide, just like we were learning how to add and subtract. Okay? With these four little math problems, you're going to need to decide whether you should multiply or divide. Now, multiply, when you're talking about Excel, is not an X. The multiply sign is the little star-like looking thing on the 8 key. And how you get it is you do Shift and then the 8 key, and it gives you that little star. There's another one sometimes over on the keypad, up right above the 9, that star-like looking thing. It's called an asterisk. That's the same thing. It means multiply. The divide button is the slash that is on the key that also has the question mark, but you do not need to do Shift. Okay, so that's how you divide. All right, so here we go. We have our first problem. Molly is buying 12 cookies. Each cookie is $1.29. We want to know the total cost for the cookies. So we have to decide, are we going to add, are we going to subtract, are we going to multiply, or are we going to divide? Well, you could do it by adding $1.29 plus $1.29 plus $1.29 and do that 12 times, but that would be kind of ridiculous as far as the amount of time that would take when you could just multiply. Okay, so what we're going to do is the price of one cookie, we're going to write that in right here, $1.29. You can put a dollar sign if you want or not. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, next we need to know how many cookies she is buying. Well, if you go back and you read this again, you'll find the answer. Okay, now here's what we need to know. How much are we going to owe for these cookies? Well, we've decided that we needed to multiply, and we're going to multiply the price of one cookie times how many cookies, which is 12. So in this cell where we want our answer, we're going to type equals the price of a cookie, which is H2. It's not $1.29. It's H2. Notice it put an H2 there. And then our multiply sign, which is Shift and the 8 key. That means multiply. The price of one cookie times how many cookies she's buying. Don't write 12. The answer is in H3, and then hit enter. Okay, so she's going to end up owing $15.48 for her 12 cookies that cost $1.29 each. If you simply put in $15.48, you're not going to get any points, because I don't really care that the answer is $15.48, although that does need to be right. I care about the equation that you wrote. To find out how much she's going to owe for cookies, you have to multiply the price of one cookie, H2, times how many cookies, H3. Okay, so then you can go ahead and do how much Joe's going to owe for footballs. This next one, Nate has 216 marbles. He wants to give an equal number of marbles to each of his 6 friends. How many marbles will each friend get? Well, obviously you're going to need to know how many marbles he has and how many friends he has. And then you're going to need to decide, is this a add, subtract, multiply, or divide problem? Well, that's what he's doing, is he's dividing his marbles up equally among his friends. Okay, so we're going to go where we want the answer, which is H15. Type an equal sign, or you can click up here in this little box and type an equal sign. And we're going to put how many marbles he has, which is H13, divided by, which again is on the key with the question mark on it. It's a slash. So how many marbles divided by how many friends, which is H14, and hit enter. And it's 36. Each friend is going to get 36 marbles. Okay, and then this next one, Sue needs to bake 33 cakes. That's an awful lot of cakes. And she has 4 days to get them all baked. So how many cakes does she need to bake each day? So how many cakes does she need to, over the course of 1 day, does she need to get made and baked? So that's going to either be an add, a subtract, a multiply, or a divide problem. Okay, and once again, don't just slap a 36 in there. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to look for this formula to see whether you understand that. Okay, so when you get it done, those 4 problems, you're going to save it as your last name, multiply, divide, and turn it in.